Hello and welcome to another episode of Double J's List. If you get a chance, please like and subscribe. Today I want to try something different. I want to actually do a very short, hopefully short, car review because I want to get into car reviews more because it's in a direction I'd like to go in my channel. So in order to start doing that, I need to actually start doing car reviews. Now, the car I'm going to review is my own 2020 Chevrolet Bolt EV. You guys have seen my other videos, hopefully. If not, please go ahead and check them out. But right now, these cars are a little bit controversial because of the recall. The battery packs could potentially have a manufacturing defect, and if that happens, there could be a fire. I think so far there's been about 13 documented cases of these cars going up in flames. Most of them have been late 2019 models, so the 2020s, I think there's only been one. But anyway, onto the car. Despite the controversy, I have to say that this is one of the most fun cars that I have owned. I absolutely love it. It's the first electric car I've ever owned. I have owned a couple of hybrids in the past. This is much better. It has a lot more torque, more fun, and one advantage of the Chevy Bolt is it's got a lot of range. It's rated for 259 miles. I don't drive 259 miles in a day. I don't think most people do, and I think that this car is more than capable for most people's daily commuting and running around town. So another thing I really like about this car is it handles really well. I've got another video out where I've autocrossed the car. I've actually bought autocross specific tires and wheels, and I use that. It's been great. It weighs about an extra 1,000 pounds because of the batteries over comparable hatchbacks, but that weight is primarily in the floor between the wheels, so it's almost like similar dynamics to a mid-engine car. Like right now I'm going around a corner, and it's still pretty light on its feet. It's still a small hatchback. Anyone that's driven a somewhat powerful front-wheel drive hatchback, I think would really like this car. I test drove a GTI, a 2021 I believe it was, before I bought this. I actually think that this is better to drive than a Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Mostly because of the power delivery. The chassis might be just a little bit better for the Golf, but power delivery makes up for this. Right now I'm about to head up through one of my favorite twisty roads, and yeah, you put that power down, it delivers. Stand on the brake a little bit, go through the corner. You know, understeer just like any other front-wheel drive car. Oh, you get a little front inside wheel spin. Go around the corner again. The next one, it's uphill, and fantastic, just fantastic. What a great car. I'm not even in sport mode. I'm just in the regular L mode. So it's got regenerative braking. When I let off the accelerator pedal, and actually brakes a bit, it'll actually come to a complete stop. But like I said, fantastic car. The driving dynamics are just better than it should be, and it's so sad that this recall has happened and these tragic fires have happened, because it's General Motors did a great job. Now you'll read other reviews. The interior isn't the best. The seats aren't the most comfortable. That seems to be one of the prevailing things from every other review that you ever hear, and I'll reiterate it. Yes, it's fairly true. Supposedly they corrected the issue on the 2022 model. They've done a facelift for the Bolt, and then introduced the Bolt EUV, which is a slightly larger in the U's for utility. It's supposed to be like a comparable like sport utility or crossover style car. It's just got a little more backseat room. But like I said, this car is fantastic. I really can't say enough about it. So we're gonna move on to an interior shot in just a moment here, and I'll show you the outside. Styling wise, I actually think that it's not a bad looking little hatchback, especially if you get it in a decent color. I went with the most obnoxious color possible for 2020. This is called Oasis Blue. I don't mind the color at all. I actually think it looks really good, because when you get these in the black, gray, or white, or silver, they don't really stand out. It looks kind of like a Chevy Sonic, or what was the other hatchback? Spark. But when you get it in a nice color, it actually has some pretty good lines. I actually think it looks a little bit like a European hot hatch. Almost has some sort of almost like some French influence. But anyway, as far as how usable the car is, first we'll take a quick look in the hatch. Never mind all my stuff in there. But it's not a huge hatch, but it's pretty usable. You could fit some carry-on bags or something like that back there. One of the things I want to hark on, at least with this review, the back seat's actually really, really big and usable. If you take a look, I have two car seats back here. I have the seat adjusted for where I normally sit. I'm about 5'9", 5'9.5". So this actually has more back seat room than my Jetta Sport Wagon did, which I think is pretty interesting. For such a small little car, it's been pretty good. Not a whole lot of frills or anything back here. I apologize, the car's a little bit messy right now. This is literally how I use it. So with that battery being in the floor, you can see how the seat is actually raised up a little bit. That's all battery right there. It goes underneath, stays high, and then right beneath the seat in the rear, the battery is in that section too. So it's all between the wheels. And it creates a very, very flat load floor, and you sit in a little bit of an elevated position, which my wife likes a lot because she likes driving around in her crossovers. So it feels a little bit like that. Whereas like my Jetta Sport Wagon from before, you didn't feel that way. You felt very low to the ground. Up front, unfortunately, they did not design a frunk. They've put all of this under the hood. It would be nice to have storage here, but unfortunately there's not. So, I really don't know what any of this is. I'm assuming there's a motor in there. And then I'm guessing these are all controls. So, we're entering a brave new world that I'm unfamiliar with completely. But now that I've already lived with it since March, now this is October, I can say that it's going to be okay. It's been fantastic, actually. So, moving on. Quick about the interior here, you get a screen for your speed, and you get another giant screen for the radio, and basically it's got this little screen that tells you about energy and things like that. Other people go into more depth with all of this works, but you've got hard buttons, temperature set by turning this knob. It's simple enough. If you want to manipulate, one thing about this is you can turn the AC off if you want to conserve energy. It'll make your range go up a little bit. However, this car has so much range that I don't even think it's that much of an issue. But yeah, all their controls are down here. You have a sport button, which I never use. I think it just makes the throttle a little more twitchy. Traction control off, which I used when I was autocrossing. There was a couple runs I forgot to turn it off, and the car's a whole heck of a lot slower and gets in its own way. So I recommend turning that off if you're doing any kind of motorsports, but it's good on the street. The only heat controls that aren't, besides these, we got the heated seats here. This is the comfort and convenience package, so it has the heated seats along with the heated steering wheel. I have both of the safety suites, so it does lane keep assist. It does it senses the car in front of me and brakes for me and beeps at me when something's too close, and it beeps when you're about to back into things. So it has all that stuff. Yeah, so far it's been awesome. Also, The shifter is one of these electric things. You press your foot on the brake. It's got this button on the side, like the button you would hit for an automatic transmission. Like if you're grabbing it like that, this makes it so you can move it. Normally I keep my hand over where you can see, but push it forward, it goes into neutral. You push it, now we're in reverse. Turns on the backup camera. And then you can press the button again and bring it down. And now it toggles between L and D and L. L is the mode that when you take your foot off the brake, it does regenerative braking and then comes to a complete stop. One of the coolest features of an electric car. Not all electric cars have that. I believe it was pioneered by Tesla. I highly recommend it. That'd be, if I didn't have an electric car, that'd be one of the features I miss the most besides not going to fuel stations. But anyway, back into the in-car for the conclusion. So in conclusion, I really think that I should really do a little reflection here. One of the reasons I want an electric car, I want to do my part. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing for my kids in the future and our own future. Produce a little bit less carbon dioxide, and if you look at the research, it's all true that an electric car future will be beneficial for that. Another one of my favorite roads. I'm gonna have to whee. Yeah, this is, oh my gosh, so much power, so much torque. Anyway, but I'm also a car enthusiast at heart, and this car manages to do both. I've owned, see, it takes off again. I've owned a number of hybrids, and they weren't good for the enthusiast. They were great on fuel and everything, and they were quiet and comfortable and whatever. But this is legitimately fun. I have absolutely no range anxiety whatsoever with the amount of miles I can drive. I'm not taking road trips in this car, but for commuting and doing my normal round town tasks, this is fantastic. Can't recommend it more, and I really hope that the issues with the recall get resolved really quickly, because otherwise this is a fantastic car, and the future is not as bleak as we think as auto enthusiasts. Thank you again for watching, and please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.